Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to do the double crochet stitch, and to do that we're going to learn how to make a washing cloth or a bathing cloth, which is what I have right here. I've already made two, so we're going to make another bathing cloth. So to do that, get your hook and your yarn, and we start with a slip knot. We already learned how to make a slip knot, a chain, and a single crochet. So if you do not know how to make a slip knot, there's a video tutorial on this channel where you're going to learn how to make a slip knot before you can come learn how to make the double crochet stitch. So we've made the slip knot. Next we chain 30. So I have my 30 chain. Remember we said that when you're making a chain, make sure that your stitches are consistent, such that they are not too tight or too loose. So we have our 30 chains. After making the 30 chain, all the 30th stitch, then chain one more. The chain one that we made at the end does not act as a stitch. So we're going to start making a double crochet right into the 30th stitch. So what we do is yarn over, pass the yarn over the hook, go into the 30th chain, pass the yarn over, pull it through that stitch, then yarn over, pull through two of the loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull through the remaining two, and there you have the first double crochet. Next we go into the next chain with a double crochet. So yarn over, go into that next stitch, pull a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. Then we make another double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next chain, pull a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops, and there we have our 3 double crochets. So we keep working like this to the end for a total of 30 double crochets. And remember we said if you want to make sure that you're keeping your stitches in check, count your stitches. For a beginner, it's very necessary that you count your stitches to ensure that you're not working less or more stitches. So keep going. So I've done my 30 double crochets to the end of that row. Every chain stitch has a double crochet, and that marks the end of row 1. To move on to row 2, just like we did with the single crochets, we said when you're turning to move on to the next row, you don't just turn like this, but instead you chain 1 and then turn. And the chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we do not count this stitch as work. So what we do is we yarn over, go into that very first stitch, pull a loop. We have 3 loops, pull through 2, then pull through the remaining 2 for your first double crochet. Then we keep working a double crochet into each of the stitches, so you can clearly see the stitches. So you work a double crochet into each of the stitches till you get to the end of the row. I'm coming to the end of the row, and as you can see, this is the last visible stitch that you can see right here. So we go into that stitch with a double crochet. Now if you've been counting your stitches, you realize that you're at stitch number 29 and we have a total of 30. So we have a hidden stitch right here, so we need to go into this hidden stitch right here with a double crochet. So this last stitch is not as visible as all the other stitches and might be forgotten. So the counting will ensure that you do not forget that last stitch, like that. Next we chain 1 and turn and start row 3. For row 3, yarn over, go into that very first stitch, double crochet, and then double crochet to the end. When you get to the end, remember to go into the last stitch with a double crochet. When you're turning, remember to chain 1 so that you have straight edges. So work to this point and remember to go into this last stitch. So you keep going like this for a total of 18 rows. I have done the 18 rows, but I've also added 2 more rows to make 20. So you can work with the 18 rows, or you can work with you can add 2 more to get 20 like I've done. So we have row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So we have 20 rows. Next we're going to do our edging. This is what we're calling our edging, as you can see. We have the double crochets at the center, and then all around the double crochets we have a different kind of a stitch, and that is what we're calling our edging on the cloth that we've just made. So get our cloth, chain 1, and then turn. Then now to do the edging, we're going to use single crochets. We already know how to do single crochets. So in this first stitch, put 3 single crochets. So in every corner stitch, we're going to be putting 3 single crochets. So when we get to this corner stitch right here, we'll also put 3 single crochets. So we are working around the cloth. When you get to this corner stitch here, we'll put 3 single crochets. And in this other corner, we'll also put 3 single crochets. So after the first 3 single crochets, we move on to putting a single crochet into every stitch. Each of the stitches now gets 1 single crochet. So work a single crochet to this last stitch of that row, and then I'll meet you there. I'm coming to the end of that row, and I have this one last stitch here remaining. So into this stitch, which is a corner stitch, I put 3 single crochets. Then we turn to the other side. Now the other side has double crochet rows, and every double crochet row will get 2 single crochets. So in this first row, we put 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets in the next row, 2 single crochets into the next, So put 2 single crochets into every row of double crochets, and I'll meet you once you're done with that row. At this particular corner right here. I'm at the corner stitch, and right there we're going to put 3 single crochets right here. Now, as I crochet, I'm going to crochet over this particular end so that I do not have to weave it in at the end of the project. So I hold it like this, then move on into the next stitch right here. So these are double crochet stitches, so every double crochet stitch gets a single crochet, and do that while working over the end. So we are hiding the end with the single crochets, 1 single crochet into every of the stitches. Then we work like this to the end right here. At the end right here, we put 3 single crochets on the last stitch. Then we turn over to the double crochet rows. Every double crochet gets 2 single crochets up to this particular end right here. I'm on the 4th corner, and I've just put 3 single crochets right there. So now we start putting 2 single crochets on every double crochet row. Move on to the next with 2 single crochets. The next row gets 2 single crochets, and our round is going to end right here where we started. So put 2 single crochets onto every double crochet row. I'm done with the single crochets, and now we need to connect the first stitch with the last stitch so that we complete the round. So to do that, we go on top of the first single crochet, pull a loop, and then pull it through to the stitch that we had on the hook, like that. and that is what we call a slip stitch. So we've just done a slip stitch. Next, we're going to do 2 more rows of edging, or 2 more rounds of edging there. So chain 1 and turn, work a single crochet into that very first stitch, and a single crochet into every stitch till you get to the corner. I'm at the corner, and right here we had our 3 stitches. So what we do is we go into the first stitch of the corner stitches with a single crochet, then the middle stitch gets 3 single crochets. So work this round like that. Every time you get to the middle stitch that had 3 single crochets, the middle stitch of the 3 single crochets, that is the second stitch, gets 3 single crochets. So then we continue with a single crochet onto every stitch. I'm at the other corner, so we do a single crochet, then the stitch that was in the middle gets 3 single crochets. And now all the other stitches just get 1 single crochet to the other corner. I'm at the end, and right here we have the last 3 single crochets. So we go into this first single crochet and into the middle single crochet with 3 single crochets, then into the very last with a single crochet, and we're done with that row. We are done with the round. Next we will make a slip stitch. So go into the first single crochet, on top of it pull a loop and pull it through, chain 1 and turn. And so we're going to do 1 last round of edging, and we'll be done with our washing cloth. So a single crochet into the first stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, into the next, then we get to the corner stitch, we put 3 single crochets. So round 3 is worked just like we've worked round 2. So keep working like this. When you get to the corner stitch, I'm done with that round, so we slip stitch onto the first single crochet and complete that round. Chain 1, cut off the yarn, pull through, fasten. So we are done with our bathing cloth. What's remaining is to weave in this end using the the yarn needle. So go on weaving your end and you'll be done. So I've weaved in my end, and this is what I have. I hope you've done the same for yours. If you've liked this video, kindly like it, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a lesson, because I'm going to be uploading so many of these. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourselves a good day, a good morning, a good evening. Bye.